Absolutely. Well, our company is called Easy Landlord Exit. We talked about. We wanted to do something a little different than screaming "We buy houses" and the yellow signs on the posts. And I just think that
Not that there's a problem with
no,
that.
those are great. That is a perfect niche. But for us, we want to go a little different niche.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people work their careers and put into their retirement, buy these rental properties, do everything that you say, and you get to be about 70. And, it's not a failure, but you're just tired. Like you don't want to go do another turnover. And a lot of these folks, mom and pops, they have a lot of equity built up. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of creative ways to, kind of keep in mind their tax situation for them to, move to the next chapter, and
Right.
we focus more on, the ease of it, and the, you know, being a resource for people.
Right.
Not everyone that I talk to, we end up buying their properties, but a lot of times we can, they give them the resources, recommend a realtor if that's better for them. So, um, I just think there's a lot of space for everyone. So we're just trying to fill that niche of,
Okay.
well, everybody's different. So I think that's one thing that sets us apart is we'll look at an individual, um, situation. Like maybe somebody needs to, you know, maybe they have a portfolio and they, want 80 grand a year or before they move up to their next tax threshold. Or maybe they just want, 3 grand a month or something like that instead of a big chunk of money so that they don't pay the taxes on that.
Right.
Or, maybe, if they have a good rate, maybe we could pay them more, if we could assume that rate on like a sub two or a lease agreement.
Right.
So
Right.
each situation's going to be a little bit different.
Okay.
Some people just want cash. The best situations for us would probably be had the property for a long time, maybe needs a little bit of work, and someone just wants an easy exit where, here's the keys, just want my mailbox money. Like we had a guy who ran a construction business. He was out of Odessa. Nice guy, had a family home there. Just wanted to go to Arizona and didn't want to fix up his house. And he owned it outright. He didn't want a um, big chunk of money. He's like, I just want a couple grand a month. So
Okay.
it worked for us to be able to fix it up a little bit and put a tenant in there.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be an 8 unit portfolio. It can
Okay.
just be like, we've had this little duplex for a long time, or,
Yeah.
or I want to go to Arizona.
Would you take a big 20, you know, if they had 20 houses, would you take someone's big portfolio, or are you really looking for smaller portfolios? Is there a sort of sweet spot for you?
I think most of our kind of avatar client is going to be 1 to 10 units. But
Okay.
yeah, if somebody has a 20 unit or, a 30 unit, if it makes sense. One thing that sets us apart a little bit is we can generally pay a little bit more money if we can get a little bit more creative on the terms
Mm-hmm.
and just being able to get that situation perfect for people.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a win-win really.
Okay. If you had a perfect customer, what would they look like?
Well, I think you're, kind of back to that 55 to 80-year-old retired mom and pop landlord,
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, and we've gotten to the feel fortunate enough to be able to choose who we work with.
Yeah.
So we want to work with people that we like.
Nice.
And, you
Are
know,
you in Spokane? Are you willing to go outside the state,
oh,
or?
sure. Well, we actually live in Davenport, but,
Oh, really?
yeah, we operate, Eastern Washington, Northern Idaho, a lot of, Lincoln County,
Okay.
you know,
I love Davenport.
I do too. Yeah.
It's
We live
freaking
outside of
awesome.
town too. It's awesome.
Okay.